The Swiss Travel Pass and the half fare card can be very confusing because they're a little bit similar, but they're also quite different. In this video, we're going to take a look at exactly what the similarities and differences are so that you can quickly and easily choose the right pass for your upcoming Swiss trip. So let's start with the similarities just to get that out of the way. Basically, both passes cover the whole Swiss transport network, which allows you access to all the trains, the boats, the buses and the trams. And the other great thing about both these passes is they give you huge discounts, often up to 50% on all mountain transport. There's a few minor differences, but generally they're both the same when it comes to mountain transport, like the Jungfraujoch, the Schilthorn, Pilatus, and all those big mountain transport costs that you're going to encounter while you're in Switzerland. So next, let's take a look at what's different, because of course that's the most important thing when buying these passes. The Swiss Travel Pass is free to get on the train, the boat, the bus or the tram. You basically have a valid pass for the day and you just get on the transport and go as far as you want, as long as you want. If you've got the Flex Pass, of course, you need to validate for that specific day, but otherwise there's no difference there. The Swiss Pass is free to get on all Swiss transport, not including the mountain gondolas, funiculars and other transport, of course. The half fare card, on the other hand, gives you 50% off. Nice discount when you can get it, right? But it's not free. So of course there's a big difference there, but the prices are quite different and that's where you make up for it. But we'll talk about that later. When it comes to the length of these passes, that's also where there's a huge difference. The half fare card is valid for 1 month, whereas the Swiss Pass is only valid for as long as you've purchased it for. That could be as little as 3 days or as long as 15 days, but you can't get it longer than 15 days. So if you're going to travel every day for a month or more than 15 days in a month, the Swiss Travel Pass is a little bit limited. So you might need to add on other passes to cover you for those other days or buy full price tickets all the time. Whereas the half fare card gives you lots of flexibility there. You can travel whenever you want within a month. You can get on and off the train when you want, but you've always got to buy a ticket. So there's a big difference there, but the flexibility is the main one. And when it comes to mountain transport, as I said earlier, they're very, very similar. But what does that mean? Well, in general, you get about 50% off on all of these mountain gondolas, trains, funiculars, because they're very expensive. So 50% off is really, really good, right? But there's a few differences. The Swiss Travel Pass gets you free transport on Rigi, Stanzerhorn and Stoss, which are all around Lake Lucerne. But if you're going up Mount Pilatus, it doesn't help you as much because it only gives you 50% off, just like the half fare card. And again, if you're going up the Jungfraujoch or the Schilthorn or any of the Interlaken-based ones, the half fare card is a tiny bit cheaper on the Jungfraujoch, but otherwise they're more or less the same. And if you love museums, the Swiss Travel Pass gives you access to 500 of Switzerland's amazing museums. There's a few exceptions like the Transport Museum and the Lindt Museum, but otherwise you can pretty much walk in on the day that your Swiss Travel Pass is valid and go straight into that museum for free. So that's an extra 20 or 30 Swiss francs savings in one given day that you can make with the Swiss Travel Pass. So that's really great. The museums can save you a lot of money with the Swiss Travel Pass, whereas with the half fare card, you get no discounts whatsoever. And when it comes to cost, of course, there is a huge difference because the Swiss Travel Pass costs around about $250 to start off with 3 or 4 days, and then all the way up to about $750 for first class for 15 days. So it can cost you quite a lot of money. And if you're not making use of it, if you're not traveling a lot, not traveling long distances, then you have to question whether it's worth it, because the half fare card in comparison is only 120 Swiss francs. And you can easily make up that cost by just going on the Jungfraujoch. So if you're going to go on the Jungfraujoch and you get a half fare card, it's paid for itself already, and everything else you do with it is saving you even more money. But if you're going to do really long trips, like some of the panoramic trains, like the Glacier Express or the Bernina, then the Swiss Travel Pass might come into its own a lot more. And that's where these passes are quite difficult to compare, because it depends on exactly where you're going, how often you're traveling, how much you're doing in one day, and whether you're combining it with museums or mountain transport or really long panoramic trips. But in a lot of ways, the Swiss Travel Pass is also about convenience. If you just want to get on and get off and not have to worry about tickets, then the Swiss Travel Pass is a lot easier. If you've got the Flex, then you need to activate each day, so it's a little bit more painful, but it's generally pretty flexible. Whereas with the half fare card, you need to think about, where am I going to go today? what's it going to cost? You need to get on the app or go to a ticket machine, or even worse, go to an office where you have to wait in line and you have to get your ticket. So that's something to consider if you want convenience over price. Then the Swiss Travel Pass is the way to go. But if you're on a budget, then the half fare card might be the best option, because for a lot of people, the Swiss Travel Pass is costing you too much money for what you're going to get out of it. So in general, that's the main difference. They both cover the Swiss Travel Network. The prices are hugely different. The mountain transport is very similar in coverage. Swiss Travel Pass gives you museums, half fare card doesn't. Swiss Travel Pass costs a lot of money, half fare card doesn't. Swiss Travel Pass is limited in days, the half fare card goes for 30 days. So there's a general comparison for you. And if you're interested in figuring out exactly what pass is right for you, I actually have a service for that down below. You can click on the link, and that might really help you make the right decision and save you tons of money on your Swiss trip. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more Swiss transport content or more Switzerland content in general, be sure to subscribe down below.